And welcome everybody to another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast, hosted by myself and my sister Megan. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Of course, make sure to go to our YouTube page at Come Play With Us, Danny Show, and hit that subscribe button and notification bell when new episodes drop. We've got a. How do I say? I can't.
Please say it any way you want to.
Well,
Just
okay,
say it.
so we've talked about this movie for what, the past few weeks, maybe a month or so, about hey, this movie is the trailer was interesting and creepy, and
It's been a month.
it's been a month long, and now we're gonna review tonight Skinamarink, the movie that's kind of I wouldn't say taking the horror movie genre by storm, but it's actually causing a bit of buzz, just like Terrifier Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Both were made on limited budgets and have made a boatload of money off of their budgets. I mean, I think Skinamarink has made, what, $2 million so far off a $15,000 budget right now?
Roughly, yeah. Because the last time I saw it was like 1.8 million, but now I'm sure it's higher.
Yeah, I think it's officially at 2 million right now as we speak.
Yes.
So
there's liquor in my bottle.
There is. Okay. I should have.
You should.
I should have made a cocktail for this one. So we will do our review of Skinamarink, and I'm going to come at this at two sides. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to come at this as a fan of horror side. That's one side, and then the other side is as a student of film. I will come at it as that side, as a student of film, and then a horror movie fan for this movie.
I'm excited.
All right, so a little bit of backstory about Skinamarink. Skinamarink is a 2022 Canadian experimental horror film written and directed by Kyle Edward Ball, and his featured directorial debut. Of course, this movie has been getting a lot of noise because it was made on a $15,000 budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the premise of this film is it follows two children who wake up during the night to discover that they cannot find their father and that the windows, doors, and other objects in the house are disappearing, which is a great synopsis of the film.
Fantastic.
Before you watch the film.
Yes.
I'm going to do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I feel like you have a better grasp of what you're going to explain.
I don't know. I don't even know if I have the better grasp of what I want to explain. All right. So I watched this today.
Uh-huh.
So it's still very fresh in my mind. I watched this today. And at the 11-minute point, I couldn't do it. I could not.
Mm-hmm.
I could not bring I did watch the whole film.
But let me back up here. After he sent me the text that said, I can't do this.
I can't do this, but I had to chug along to get the full film because, at 11 minutes, you kind of have to give it a chance. Now, this is coming from the horror fan film side. This is not coming from the student of film side.
Please be specific about what side you're talking about.
Okay, this is my first review of it is coming from the horror film fan film review side. So after watching it, I get it. It was made on $15,000 on a budget. Okay, I get it. If the budget was maybe a little bit more, they could have done a lot more to it. But I want my life back. I want an hour and 40 minutes of my life back. I just, at the end of the film.
Oh, look, my ear came on.
I know what I watched. Okay. I know what I watched. And yes, it is experimental. There are a lot of things that haven't been done before. But a lot of it to me was just frustrating because look, I get it. You can do scary angles or like weird angles to get that, what are we looking at? Or, you have the dialogue, which you can understand. They have to have subtitles for it. That's scary too. There could be a presence in there, but
But let's be specific though. What did I tell you when I said when I watched the movie? You have to put closed captions. You know what? I'm gonna stop because I'll tell you when I go through my.
I know, but you know what? I didn't put closed captions on because I could kind of understand what they were saying.
Okay.
But at the end of the film, if I ever meet the director of the film, I will be like, "Do you have an hour and some change to give me back more of my life? Because that's what you stole from my life, out of my day to day, was because." And the thing is, like, I'm coming now. I'm going to explain the film part of me, the film student of. I look at this as an experimental horror film. I think he got what he wanted to accomplish. Like the angle, like the film itself, what they had to work with a $15,000 budget, which is not much.
No.
Yeah, I get it. Like you're trying to do something new and different that really nobody has seen before. Trying to do something. Look, it was not scary at all. Like whoever's coming out of this film going, it was scary, or oh, it was just jump. No, there was no such scare in this movie. I love the cool part of the movie I love was the talking. You know, the talking from Toy Story was was in there. Remember at the like.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. It's
The talking, yeah, was the I can be anything I want to be, and he was like talking from Toy Story. I'm like, wait, does this connect with Toy Story universe? Is the toy a murderous thing? But from the film student of my perspective, I get what they were trying to do. I get what the director was trying to do, but if you're trying to really come across. I mean, look, this guy's gonna make out with bank. I mean, he's made so much money off of a limited budget. He's made $2 million off the box office for this. But it's just if it's gonna change the game, it's not. It's not gonna change the game of horror. It's just gonna be another blip on the screen where it's look. You're gonna if you watch this film, it is going to frustrate the hell out of you. Okay. You have to go in knowing that at the end of the film, you may want to punch yourself in the throat. Let's just say that.
Which would probably be more entertaining than what you just watched.
Exactly. Yeah. From it coming from a film student who went to school for film and like.
Be honest. Go on.
It was like, look, I don't know what all the hype was about. I really don't. Like, I don't know what the hype was about. Maybe because I think we're so used to having those in your face gore fest, and like we're so used to seeing what we're normally seeing. That's maybe why. But like other than that, it was just like, all right, I get it. It's a student. It's a $15,000 student film that's now made a lot of money. That's pretty much what it was.
That got produced
and put out there. Yeah. Do you want me to go single screen? That way you can tell the people how you felt about this one?
No, you can keep the screen right where it's at. All right, so I'm gonna give you my opinion on this.
Yeah.
So I'm, for one, very disappointed.
Yeah, I think all around it's disappointed me because the buildup of this, the trailer. Listen, the teaser trailer was fantastic because
the trailer was wonderful.
Yeah, if that was the movie, we wouldn't be talking about how bad it was. But like,
no.
Like the teaser was just the right amount of reveal that you wanted. But then when you watch the film, you're just like, oh, okay, that's what we're getting.
So my number one frustration is I was just frustrated.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to completely trash it just because, like, for your opinion, I understand. I kind of get the gist of what he was trying to do.
Right.
But it makes me very worried for this generation's movies. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense because I know a lot of people were trying to compare this film to like when Blair Witch came out, but like Blair Witch at least like had some sort of.
But Blair Witch Project, you literally were walking, for somebody that's seen it in the theaters.
I saw it in the theaters too. Yeah,
walked at it. They're like, was that actually real?
Yeah, because I remember watching it in the theater, and there was a lot of people in there going, "This is a real story," and like, no, it's not real. It's just a fake movie. But
no, and I was gonna compare it to Blair Witch as far as like budget wise, but the budget for like Blair Witch was like 200,000.
Right.
However, that's still a small budget for that type of movie, and they did so much more than this film did. The only part of this movie that I was actually kind of like, "What the fuck is that?" is when Kaylee, I guess the girl's name is, she's in the bedroom, and there's a shot with the bed, and then all of a sudden the father appears on one side, and then the mother appears on the other side. That to me was the only interesting part of that movie.
The only interesting part of the film for me was the talking phone, the toy phone underneath the bed, and like you saw a clear shot of the talking, like the phone toy, because it's Toy Story. And that was like Toy Story 3, when he was telling Woody like, "Hey, partner, you need to get out of here. Lotso's not going to let you out of here."
Like, but I even looked at reviews of this movie, and somebody said this was the scariest movie of the year. What the fuck are you watching? What are you watching to think this was the scary? As people got that sensitive, and that this scared the shit out of you? Like, I can understand Terrifier.
I couldn't even see a creep factor with this movie because
there was none. There was none.
Yeah.
No, there was no creep factor, and at the end, where all the toys were on the roof.
The ceiling. I don't know.
Your kids could have done a better job of what the fuck they were doing. Like,
I tell you what though, Megan, I think the first minute of the film when like the credits were rolling, that was like, okay, well, it's kind of like almost like a 8mm home movie that we might be watching. Like that was like maybe the cool part of it. Okay, it reminded me of like the 8mm like home films we saw in Sinister.
Yes.
You know, like it reminded me of that, like the first like part of the first rolling of the credits where we're seeing, how this, like the thanking everybody and all the who's playing who. That was and you hear like the TV in the background and stuff. And that was kind of, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
but it was too chaotic. Like there was too much happening, and then it would reverse itself.
Right.
And then it would go forward, and I'm like, I know I didn't take anything before I watched this movie. Like I
didn't take anything either. And I was like, maybe I should have taken something, but then maybe I would have gone down the rabbit hole if I would have taken.
Yeah, it would have gone too far. But I understand the concept, and I think if they reworked it, even with the budget that they had, it would have been better.
I think what's also frustrated me too about this film was, and I get it, he was trying to do something with different camera angles, and I listened to a review by Chris Stuckman, and he was saying how he almost perceived like the camera angles were the eyes of a child, like the way they were kind of like low to the ground, like you're almost having that POV of a child view, which I can see some of that was kind of like that too as well. But like when there were certain angles of where you just were like, am I looking at the corner of the floor? Like what? And and it's not like, hey, what am I looking at? It's almost like, what am I looking at? It's like, you're almost kind of like,
why am I looking at it?
Why am I looking at this? Or like the frustration of, what am I looking at? What am I supposed to be paying attention here? Not like, oh my God, what was that? That's what kind of frustrated me throughout the film was you constantly had those angles where it's like, what am I looking at? What am I supposed to be focusing on right now?
Why do I see this angle? There wasn't enough attention to the angles. There wasn't enough attention of something there in the angle where you were like, oh shit, there's something in that corner. Like, and I'm not talking about like severe jump scares. You didn't have to even do that. Yeah. But at least I've seen like creepy pasta videos that have more of a meat to them. I don't know why I just did
no pun
intended. Like that have more stuff to it than this film.
I agree. I agree with you. I wasn't scared. I wasn't creeped out. I was
disappointed.
I was waiting for it to get over with. I was like, please God. I was like, should I just fast forward it to the very end? Like, I think we're both in agreement that, look, we know what he was trying to do. We know what Kyle Edward Ball was trying to do with this film, but like in a way, to me, and on our side, I think it just like missed the mark. Now, of course,
Oh, yeah.
this film is dividing everybody down the middle when it comes to like, oh my god, this is like a greatest new horror film. But it's like there's nothing horror about it. It's just like
There's nothing other than the fact that you had grainy shots and the shot of the girl with no eyes and no mouth.
all right.
Like, great. I mean, that's cool. You popped in a couple of scenes that you could have plucked from another movie. Like, I'm not saying this was a total loss for this guy. I applaud him for what he's done.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think you
But
know what could happen is think about it. If he okay, so he's made a substantial profit on this film so far.
oh yeah,
What if he takes this and now goes to a studio and goes, look, I made this much money off of this much of a budget. Let me if this was I hope this wasn't like the true vision of what he was going to do for Skinamarink, because maybe he goes back and goes, you know what? If I get a studio to give me a budget, maybe I can kind of do what I really wanted to do with this film, because I think this film could have potential
yeah.
if it had more of a budget, and he would stop like doing camera angles like I'm looking at the corner of the room all the time.
I mean, I know this movie was shot during COVID. I know
Right.
this was, and it was shot at his childhood home,
Mhm.
which, in certain circumstances, his assistant director actually passed away after the shooting of this.
Yeah, I did.
And I know there's a lot of factors that happen, but I do think, like, I've seen people make better movies with fucking iPhones.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too.
Like I told you, like, if let's just make a cool $2 million. I'm sure you and I can bang out a script real fucking fast, and I've got an iPhone and you've got all kinds of equipment. Like, I get it. If this was a student film at some like film fest, yeah. But this thing was produced and put into theaters. Like, it didn't even go to like a film festival.
Yeah, I feel bad for people that went to theaters for this.
I'm glad I didn't go to the theaters for
I'm
this.
so glad it didn't go out, because I would have walked out and demanded my money back. Sir, I would like my money back. I would like to go see Black Adam, the Rock movie.
Oh God, that even had it better. And I've seen like even Terrifier. Okay, the first Terrifier, if for everybody who's never seen Terrifier, Damien Leone, it's a cheap B-rated movie, but it was more entertaining than this.
Yeah. Like Terrifier 1. Look, okay, so this is something that's going to blow your mind. Terrifier 1 only had a budget that was just double of what he had. Terrifier 1 was made on a $35,000 budget.
That doesn't surprise me because of like the props and everything they had in it, which is fine.
But the thing about, I mean, obviously, 15,000 to 35,000 it's a big jump money wise. That's only 20,000. But like, think about when I watched Terrifier 1. The production wise, it was a sickly produced like horror film for $35,000. Now I'm looking at this film which was made for 15,000. I'm sure they could have done a little bit more with production wise than
just shooting at a corner in a wall. Yeah,
because if Terrifier can do that, if you've seen Terrifier, it looks like a film that could have been made for a couple million. Yeah. Terrifier 1, but it was only made for 35,000. But so if Terrifier 1 can do that, he could have done a little bit more with 15,000.
I mean, hell, Terrifier 1, Damien Leone took a fucking mannequin and looked like they were sawing a woman in half starting from her badge. And in Skinamarink, there were scenes where supposedly Kevin, who was the last kid to survive, there was scenes where apparently he was killed, but you don't really know that he was killed. There was just like blood splattered on the wall.
Well, if there's at the end of the film, I think the presence or whatever tells him to go to sleep because he is alive. I don't know. It's weird at the end because you think he's dead, but he's not dead.
Well, then you have screams, and then then it backs up, and then it plays that really annoying song. Like, I don't. It makes me very, like I said, it makes me very worried for this genre of people watching horror movies. If you thought this was fucking scary, what the hell?
Well, it's a good thing that this is now kind of like lumped into a subgenre of horror because this is like experimental horror.
Is that what they're calling this?
They're calling this an experimental horror film. So it's not like a direct like horror because you can't really classify what this. I mean, you can and you can't because it's like a haunted house, like supernatural like type horror film. You know what I mean?
I'm very.
Either way, if you want to see Skinamarink, carve out an hour and 40 so minutes out of your day. Don't go and see it in theaters.
Please don't. It's on
Watch
Shutter.
watch it on Shudder.
Shutter is $6,
Watch it on Shudder.
and they have really crappy movies on there.
Yeah.
It's lumped in with the crappy movies.
Actually, I shouldn't say you shouldn't go see it in theaters. Of course, you want to like support like directors like that.
And that's fine.
But if you want to waste your money, go see it. If you want to save your $10, watch it on Shudder.
Just lately, the movies that we've seen have just been.
I think this is the most frustrating movie I've seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. It's been other than the fact that I saw Megan. Megan had more qualities than this movie. Fucking Barbarian had more qualities than
Let's
this movie.
not talk about that film. That film would be stricken from this show.
Sorry, we should not. We should not.
We
speak
shall
its
not.
name.
Yes, no.
We should not. Okay.
Speak thy name of thy stupid ass movie.
This is worse than that. I can't.
No, Skinamarink was now worse than Barbarian.
Oh my god! All right. Well, there's that.
No, Barbarian
Okay.
was way worse.
Okay. You want to move on to movie news?
Please do, because I'm done talking about this film.
Okay. All right, folks. We're gonna move on to the next section that we have. Is called movie news. There are some movies, a lot of movies out that I've already talked about, but we will talk about one that I pulled up, which is called The Pope's Exorcist. This is a Russell Crowe film based on the life of Father Gabriel Amorth, who acted as chief exorcist of the Vatican. Although there is absolutely no trailer for this movie, it is slated to release on April 7th, 2023. It gives no other bits than that.
See, I'm on the fence about seeing a horror film with Russell Crowe. I mean, Russell Crowe hasn't been in anything in a long time, has he? Anything good?
Not that I've seen, but that doesn't mean that...
And with like Exorcist films, they're like a hit or miss nowadays. With so many Exorcist movies coming out, it's like a hit or miss.
Well, I mean, the last one I saw was like Pray for the Devil, and it really wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Honestly.
I'm not jazzed.
Not,
I got to see a trailer first, so I can't really.
You're
say
not jazzed.
Not jazzed. Skinamarinky dinky Skinamarinky doo.
Do you know why they even never said why? I'm just going to back up. They never said why they actually picked that name for it.
I think any kind of children's song back from the 80s or before that is a little creepy.
Well, it's not supposed to be. It's actually Skinamarink.
Skinamarink.
So he changed it to Skin.
Skinamarink. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. The second horror movie is called Cuckoo.
Okay.
It starts production, release date of 2023. It is about, and I just missed on this. What was it about? This movie is about Hunter Schafer stars in this horror movie about a teenager who moves in with her parents on a resort, only to find her new home may not what it seems.
Okay.
This premieres September 29th, 2023.
We have some breaking news, by the way.
Oh, we do.
Did you ever see the first Constantine movie?
I did.
With Keanu Reeves?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, the sequel has been greenlit, but it is now officially moving forward with the sequel. So Constantine Part 2 is coming out, which I'm excited.
I wonder how the hell they're going to do this. Keanu
Reeves is coming back.
Whoa.
But the thing is, if they're going to do it like this,
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, because now the whole DCU is like kind of flipped. It's on its head because of all like they're kind of resetting everything.
Mm-hmm.
If they're gonna do Constantine 2, he's got to be blonde and he's got to be British. And if Keanu Reeves is gonna try and pull off a British accent like he tried to do in Bram Stoker's Dracula, we're gonna have problems unless they're gonna keep him as the Americanized version. Because in the comics, Constantine, he has blonde hair and he's British.
I don't think they'll push it that way.
Well, at least give him a blonde hair. At least give him blonde hair.
Okay. I don't want to hear, but the
oh, Mina, Dracula's coming to get you.
The English accent he had in that movie was just horrific itself. It was
Dracula,
horrible.
Why am I here, Dracula? Is it what? Oh.
Okay, stop.
Oh, Mina.
All right, the next movie is it's called Run Rabbit Run. This is an Australian horror film about a fertility doctor whose 7-year-old daughter begins to act increasingly strange after the arrival of a mysterious rabbit.
Interesting plot. See, I like Australian horror films because they're actually like they are relatively good.
I like any type of like international horror movie
Yeah.
because it's going to be an actual disgusting and or suspenseful movie until they actually turned it into an Americanized
I'm wondering
version.
what the whole thing about the rabbit has anything to do with, though.
It's scheduled to premiere sometime this year. It doesn't say anything.
Okay.
The next one is they're remaking The Strangers.
Why?
I don't know. It says a remake of the deeply creepy 2008 film The Strangers follows a couple who have to stop at an Airbnb while on a road trip and must survive 3 masked attackers. And they're having some chick from Riverdale in it.
Well, see, I thought they were going to move forward with like an actual sequel to the first film, not like a reboot. Like a reboot.
This is a remake.
I mean, if you're gonna do a Strangers reboot, you got to put it in kind of like in the times that we're at right now. If they're running an Airbnb, okay, and you got to have some kind of cameras around watching these people, and then maybe like the owners of the Airbnb are the strangers, and they're killing everybody that rents their house.
See, this is why we just need to start writing movies down because you know at this point in our lives. The next one is called The Deliverance, not Deliverance.
Not we squeal like a pig boy.
No, this is a Netflix film. Calm down. Andra Day, Monique, Amar Epps, and Caleb McLaughlin of Stranger Things fame, and Glenn Close star in this upcoming Netflix film directed by Lee Daniels. Based on a real-life haunting account, the film follows a mother in Gary, Indiana, whose children appear to become possessed.
Lee Daniels, as in the same Lee Daniels that directed The Butler? Lee
Yes.
Daniels? Interesting. I like the cast.
The cast is good.
The cast is great. I like that. The cast is good. Good director too. It'll be interesting. Okay, and it's a Netflix film. Netflix films are usually
they're hit or miss.
Hit or miss, yeah.
Bird Box was kind of
especially with horror films, they're hit or miss. So
yes.
Okay.
This one does not give any type of thing, but Salem's Lot, which I'm actually kind of excited over. Louis Pullman is set to star in an adaptation of Stephen King's Salem Lot. The story has been adapted before as both films and TV limited series. It doesn't really give anything more about that. I would say that was probably going to come out around October, give or take.
Likely. I'm excited for the Salem's Lot remake because it was such a great miniseries. It creeped me out when the little boy was up there and doing this.
Let me in.
The master.
The master.
Come stand for the master. Come now.
The next one is All Fun and Games. This is Asa Butterfield, which he has been in, Miss Pettigreens, Home for Children, which was a good movie. Stars alongside Natalia Dyer in All Fun and Games, which follows siblings who find themselves in a strange demonic game. Again, this does not give any type of thing. It's supposed to be released this year.
Okay. Games that are demonic. Okay.
Yeah.
They could make like the horror version of Jumanji.
I was just about to say that. What year is it?
And we're not talking about the Rock Jumanji or with Kevin Hart. We're talking about the OG Jumanji.
The Robin Williams, yes.
Jumanji. Although the Rock and Kevin Hart films were actually pretty enjoyable, but we're talking about
I actually didn't mind those.
Yeah, those are
the next one is called The Parenting. Edie Falco, Brian Cox, Parker Posey, and others star in The Parenting, a horror comedy about a gay couple who host a weekend getaway with their parents, which quickly turns dark when they all discover an ancient evil entity.
Interesting synopsis. Great cast, by the way.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Okay. I can get behind it. I can get behind it because of the cast.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
This next one, I'm not sure if this is an actual horror film. If it is, I'm a little put off by it. It's called Night Bitch.
Wait, Night Bitch from Kick-Ass?
It says Amy Adams will star in Night Bitch, a film based on a best-selling novel of the same name. It follows a stay-at-home mom who discovers she can transform into a dog, hence the film's cheeky title. I feel like this is probably not supposed to be in this list.
I don't know because because there's Night Bitch from the Kick-Ass comic.
I know, but I'm confused about why that would be.
So this is the same. So yeah, the book is a magical realism style story of a stay-at-home mom who sometimes transforms into a dog. Interesting.
Is it like, what is that movie? Was it the Professor movie with Robin Williams? Or was it Robin Williams? It was an old Disney movie where he could transform into the dog.
Absent-minded professor?
Was it absent-minded? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm a little weird over that. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's going to be on Hulu, so I mean,
Hey, if you guys like Amy Adams, go ahead and check it out.
I like Amy Adams, but I don't know. Stay-at-home mom turning into a dog. I don't know. Maybe she turned into a werewolf. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be
depends
really
on the dog.
Labradoodle.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. The next one is, and I've talked about this already, but it's Saw 10. I know. It's supposed to be released on October 27, 2023. James Wan, who I've not been impressed with lately, is at it again with the Saw horror powerhouse receiving its next sequel, Saw 10. The Saw franchise has certainly had its ups and downs, with several of the movies missing the mark and other surprises.
Wait. Let's dial that back. The Saw franchise has had a lot of misses after the first one. Like, the whole thing is a goddamn miss.
I agree. Other surprise sleeper hits like Saw 6 reaching its fan favorite status. The big news surrounding Saw 10, however, is the director Kevin Garrett will be sitting in the director's chair. So far, the only cast member to be revealed, can't speak tonight, is Tobin Bell, who will presumably playing John Kramer.
So they have to do this in like flashbacks, because there's no way he's alive.
It's likely considered that Kramer died in Saw 3, that he'll be appear in flashbacks.
Okay.
Or memories. But exactly whose is the $1 million question. Saw 10 will release just in time for Halloween 2023 and is sure to contain plenty of inescapable jigsaw traps and tons of gore that franchise is known for.
Yeah,
I don't know how many more ways you can kill somebody.
I don't care. They need to let this franchise die.
I don't care.
I actually have some horror movie news for you.
Okay.
Now, I know you watch those spaghetti things on the internet, right?
The creepypastas?
Creepypastas, whatever.
Yes.
Do you know about the Backrooms?
Yes.
Okay, so A24 is going to be making a film based on the YouTube horror universe of the Backrooms.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, so Sean Levy, Dan Cohen, and Dan Levine are producing for 24 Labs Entertainment. Lucas Ford from 21 Labs brought the project into the company. So it's going to be based on that viral Backrooms horror anthology that's on YouTube right now.
I have
seen it.
Okay.
I'm interested in it. It's because you can kind of picture this as like sci-fi horror in a way. So I'm really interested on how they're going to like make this into a horror film, because it is okay. Hey, Skinamarink director, if you wanted to do something correctly, you should have watched the Backrooms before making this, because that's how you make a film that is, you don't know what you're watching, but you can make it on a limited budget.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Burn. So for those who have never seen the Backrooms, this is an actual was produced by an actual 17-year-old YouTuber who actually created these films. They're actually really good. There's a lot of jump scares in these type of films. I'm kind of sketchy about this because it's A24.
Yeah, but A24 puts out a lot of. They put out weird shit, and then
they put out weird shit, yes. But for me, they're kind of hit or miss.
Okay.
I'm just.
And James Wan is also involved with it too. So.
Fucking great.
Your boy.
That's not my boy. I was really pissed off when I saw him and Jason Blum talking about the Megan film. I wanted to vomit.
I think Wan has. I think ever since he got a big, huge hit out of Aquaman. Like his horror work has really suffered.
No, I agree. I don't understand what he's doing.
And he's focused on like Aquaman 2 now. So I mean, you know.
So give up the horror genre and go work for DC Comics. Stop fucking everything else up. I'm being serious. Like what? Stop. The horror. I'm excited about all the horror movies that are supposed to be coming out this year. However, I don't want all this to be a giant shit show.
Right, I agree.
Because
And if we do decide to go to MegaCon, I'm wearing my Stu shirt, and I'm going to ask him, "Are you in Scream 6?" It's going to happen.
Do you know? I happens. Just a little trivia for you. So I did see. I don't remember if it was on Instagram today or not, but there was an interview. Not an interview. There was a fan who asked Matthew Lillard whether, because Stu was never confirmed as actually dead, whether he was coming back or not. Matthew Lillard could not give an actual answer.
Actual answer, I know. Oh, but see, we always go back to this. Let's go past this because we always go back to Scream 6.
I'm excited to see Scream 6.
I'm excited to see it too because I think it's going to shock a lot of people, and Stu's going to be the look. Let's just move on.
We're going to have some surprise video about this anyway as it gets closer. I have some things that I'm going to reveal to everybody. So,
okay. You're the killer.
Yes, that's me. It's me. The next one is Dark Harvest. This is a TBA 2023. After several scrapped release dates, it is possible that audiences will finally get to see Dark Harvest in 2023. Apparently, that's what studios are aiming for. Dark Harvest finishes production way back in 2021, so this has been in production for a hot minute. It was supposed to come out September 24th, 2021. However, issues surrounding COVID, which is a lot of these movies are being pushed back, which I think is the reason why a lot of these horror movies have been dumped out is because of COVID.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was based on Norman Partridge's eponymous novel, which zeroes in on a small Midwestern town and a fictional town. Every fall, a specter named Sawtooth Jack goes up against a violent gangs of boys, hoping to take down the supernatural creature once for all. It has a star cast, but I've never heard any of these people. This sounds like a Pumpkinhead revisited.
That's what it sounds like a little bit. It does.
Honestly.
Which I'm okay with. Look, if you're going to remake a film like that, remake it kind of like in the Pumpkinhead-esque type deal. I'm okay with it. It's got to look good, though.
I'm good.
Can't fuck it up.
I'm good with that. It doesn't say who is actually producing it. I'm assuming they'll give us more. I'm sorry. It is produced by MGM.
Oh.
And has Amazon. So it might go straight to Amazon then.
Yeah, Prime it. Yeah.
Great. All right. The last one is The Boogeyman. This is actually a TBA, but this is after Stephen King's adaptation. Is a terrifying exercise in restraint from the iconic horror author, with the entire short story taking place in a psychiatric's office as the narrator details his sordid history with the titular terror. Rob Savage's adaptation arriving on Hulu. I don't hate when they do that. Well,
actually, I don't. I'm fine with that. You know why? Because Hulu's been putting out some pretty good horror films lately.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that. So if they want to keep putting on stuff on Hulu horror-wise, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I really am.
They did say expect a slow burn horror as Savage brings one of the last unadapted stories from King's legendary debut horror collection to life. And as we all know, Stephen King, master of horror, a lot of his films or a lot of his books go to films and they get lost in translation.
Have you watched the trailer?
I did.
Trailer looks good.
I did, and the trailer does look decent.
Trailer looks good.
I'm okay with that.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Trailer looks good.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other horror movie news?
That's all I've got on my end.
Okay. Well, I have a little horror movie trivia.
I love trivia.
I do. So I'm going to see if I can trip you up here.
Okay.
We're going to read off some of these things and see if you can get it. So the first one is, how many Friday the 13th movies are there? Do not cheat.
Are you including Freddy versus Jason and like all that? Are you?
It does not give specifics. It just says how many Friday the 13th movies.
Because you got also the reboot that came out too. Are you including that as well?
Sure.
Because then you've got like 12 or 13. 12.
Yes, 12. Very good. Ding. Okay. One for you.
Yeah.
Which horror movie featured the first running toilet on screen?
first running toilet?
Mm-hmm.
Like a toilet I was actually running?
Yes.
Like it has legs and it's running across, or just a
No.
toilet running?
Like a functioning toilet.
Functioning toilet. What?
Hint.
Psycho?
Oh, very good. There you go.
The bathroom scene,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this one. If you know this, if you're watching this, whose face was used as the basis for Michael Myers' mask in
William
Halloween?
Shatner.
Very good.
Everybody knows that.
What is the name of the creatures from the Predators franchise?
Predator, like Predator? Predator?
Predator. I can't even make the noise.
What are their names?
What is the name of the creatures from the Predators? Yes.
Well, they don't really have names. They have types. There's there's a hunter predator, there's a wolf predator, there's like...
This is one specific name.
I don't know.
It is spelled Yautga.
Yep, nope.
Have no idea.
Okay.
What is the original name of Plan 9 from outer space before its release?
Oh, I know this one too.
I know you do.
I don't know. It's something I don't know.
Grave Robbers from Outer Space.
Grave Robbers from Outer Space. That's what I remember now.
All right, next one is, how many Halloween movies are there?
Now are we counting the reboots? Because you have the Rob Zombie 2 movies. You've got the new trilogy that came out. You've got...
I'm assuming yes.
So,
how many times do we have to see?
11?
Close.
Oh, the H2O. Like, oh, God. Jesus. 14?
Close.
13? 13.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What serial killer inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Ed Gein.
For those playing the home game.
Ed Gein.
All right. What horror movie coined the phrase, do you like scary movies?
Scream.
Okay. What is Nancy's address in the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
Something, something, something Elm Street.
No. Close. 1428 Elm Street.
Yeah, something, something Elm Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
What horror movie villain appears when you say his name 5 times?
Candyman. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Candyman. Yeah.
It's twice.
Yeah, Candyman.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
I was about to say Beetlejuice, but you said...
No. What was Friday the 13th's original title before its release?
Camp Crystal Lake?
No.
No.
Something very boring.
Camp.
No. A Long Night at Camp Blood.
That sounds terrible.
Yes.
That sounds really bad. I'm
glad
that was a working title. That sounds terrible.
How many Nightmare on Elm Street movies are there?
Now are we counting the reboots and the Freddy versus Jason?
Just keep going. Just
7?
No.
6.
Close.
6.
Close.
5.
No.
4? 8. 9. 9? There's
9
of them?
There's 9 of them.
Wow.
Which I'm assuming they're going to do like Jason versus Freddy and all those movies.
Okay.
What is Chucky's real name within the Child's Play film series?
Charles Lee Ray.
Very good. What are the colors of Freddy Krueger's sweater?
They are red, green, and brown.
I would have taken red and green for 200.
Okay, well, there's...
What is the official name of the shark from Jaws?
Oh my God, I know this.
You know this. You know this. Same name
isn't it Ralph?
No, same name as the shark from Finding Nemo.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. Bruce? Yeah, Bruce.
Yes, it's Bruce.
Bruce.
What famous movie is the line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara"?
Coming to get you, Barbara? I don't know. I don't know this one.
What?
I don't know this one. No.
The original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
That's right.
You're about to have your horror card pulled.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's been a while since
Ah.
I've seen. That's been a while since I've seen the original.
George Romero, wonderful movie. What song plays while Patrick Bateman axe murders his coworker?
That would be "Hip to Be Squared" by Huey Lewis and the News.
Here's another quiz that's not on here. Who was his coworker?
That would be Jared Leto.
Very good. How many?
Paul Allen.
Paul Allen.
Let's see Paul Allen's card. Oh my
How
god!
many?
You see the off-color white, raised lettering.
How many Hellraiser movies are there?
I'm gonna say 9,
No.
8, 7,
No.
6,
Higher.
10,
Higher.
12.
No.
14.
No. You're just dancing around it now.
13.
Nope.
I don't know what. There's 2.
No.
22.
No.
20. 20.
No.
11.
Yes.
Oh, 11.
Yes.
See, it seems like there's a lot more with that film series.
Yeah, but there's different adaptations of it. I don't know. Yeah. What is the name of the demon from The Exorcist?
Pazuzu.
Very good. In Scream, what is Randy's number one rule to survive a horror movie?
Well, there's a couple of them.
What's his number one?
Don't have sex. Oh, don't say I'll be right back.
Nope, you had it right the first time.
Don't have sex.
Yes.
Don't have sex.
What are 3 rules you should keep to know about the Mogwai and the movie Gremlins?
Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the last one. I only know the first 2.
Keep them out of direct sunlight.
Keep them out of direct sunlight. That's right.
So this one's, I don't know if you know this one. So in the Monster Squad, what famous creatures do the kids have to defeat?
Ooh, I love this movie too. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So you have
Mhm.
Dracula. You
Mhm.
have, although Frankenstein does flip the script, he becomes kind of like an ally to the kids. But you
Yes.
have Wolfman.
Uh-huh.
You have the pseudo-esque creature from the Black Lagoon,
Mhm.
and then the Mummy.
Very good.
I think one of the most underrated films of the '80s was Monster Squad.
I agree.
It doesn't get a lot of praise as it does because that movie was so '80s and so
Mhm.
great. Every time Monster Squad is on, I'm gonna watch it no matter.
But
what.
it's a classic horror
Right.
80s movie, and
Right.
this is going back to just jumping out really. I'm sure that movie didn't have a big budget, but
No.
fuck, it was a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
How many Godzilla movies are there?
50.
No, 36.
Oh, well, close. Jesus.
What movie is the highest grossing Stephen King adaptation?
That would be It.
Very good.
The new version of It.
Yes.
Yes.
And the last 2 I have, or last 3, actually 4. What brand of doll inspired Annabelle from the Conjuring series?
What kind of doll? Well, it wasn't the good. I don't know.
I had one of those when I was little.
The Cabbage Patch dolls?
No.
No, not troll dolls. I don't know. What?
A Raggedy Ann doll.
Oh, Raggedy Ann doll.
Because technically, the doll that's technically Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll type of doll.
Well, that is a anorexic Raggedy Ann doll because it looks nothing like a Raggedy Ann doll.
What movie is the famous line, "Here's Johnny"?
That would be The Shining.
Very good. How many people did Jason kill in the first Friday the 13th movie?
That would be 0 because the killer in the original Friday the 13th movie was his mom.
Very good. It was Mrs. Voorhees.
Voorhees was the original killer.
And the last one I have is, what was the first horror movie in color?
Ooh, first horror movie in color. Well, that's Manos, the Hand of Fate.
What? No. No, it was actually The Curse of Frankenstein.
Oh wow, I did not see I did not know that. Okay.
That was the very first movie that was in color.
If you don't know what Manos, the Hand of Fate is, please watch Manos, the Hand of Fate. It's one of the worst.
You must watch this movie.
It's one of the worst movies ever made, but it's like one of the worst films ever made. You should watch because it's so bad. So bad, it's so good.
Oh my god. That is all of the trivia that I have for tonight. I will actually pull up more on the next one. I actually like the trivia thing. If you guys do have any trivia for us, please let us know. Post it on Instagram. Anybody can stump us. That'd be great. It'd be fun.
I'm down to challenge anybody to trivia as well.
Oh, yes. We both are. So if anybody has any trivia challenges or anything that they think they can stump us on, yeah.
Please do.
I'll go ahead and do it. Yes.
Yes, please do.
But that's all for me.
That's all for me, too. And that is all from us. Thank you for joining us into another episode of Complain With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast. Of course, go to our YouTube page and subscribe at Complain With Us, Danny Show. Go to Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Music, and also Amazon Music as well to subscribe to the audio version as well, because actually when we put this up, we put the audio up as well. And then we'll be back next week with a new review of a horror film.
Yes.
And if you want to follow us on Instagram, go on there as well, and on Twitter, where you can find me at the L Bushman, and you can find Megan not on Twitter because Twitter is just a horrible place. You don't want Twitter anyway. So for myself and Megan, we'll see you guys next time on Come Play With Us, Danny. We'll see you on there. Bye.